Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about pedals, not cranksets. I'm not going to talk about the whole set, about how it fits on the frame through the bottom bracket. No, I'm just going to talk about the pedals. It's not a complicated issue, but because we have different threads, it's not exactly the same thread in the bolt that holds the right side pedal and the left hand side pedal. Sometimes it causes a confusion. So there are different methods and ways of memorizing it. I'm not going to propose any one. The thing here is that the right hand side pedal, it loses or unscrews like a normal bolt in a counterclockwise direction, and the opposite for the left hand side pedal. And this sometimes causes confusion, sometimes it causes over torque, because people trying to remove that pedal, they may end up like tightening it even more, or vice versa. They think, oh, okay, pedals in general, all of them are inverted, and they end up like tightening this one. I don't know, it may happen. I had issues with some cranksets in the past that I had a hard time to remove pedals. And for removal of pedals, vast majority of these pedals, they work with number 15. It's a metrical wrench. Okay. If you don't have metrical wrenches, you can go with a 5/8, which is not ideal. Not ideal because it's still a bit loose, while the 15 it's tighter. Okay. But if you don't have a 15, 5/8 should work. I'm not going to use the 5/8, I'm going to use the 15. So as I'm going to show you here today, I'm going to remove this, not remove, but just break it loose. It's already broken loose. I already recorded a video before this in Portuguese, my mother language. And for my channel, I usually record in both languages. And I didn't have a hard time to remove this at that time, because it's been not too long since I installed these pedals, and I used grease, so it was not difficult. But sometimes we may have hard time removing them, and this is going to be part of this video. So here's my 15 millimeter wrench. I just installed it here, and the idea is to rotate it counterclockwise, just like a regular bolt, so in order to remove it. So, not complicated. I had already broken loose before, and then we can unscrew the whole pedal. It's not my intention to do the whole thing right now, but I'm going to turn the bicycle so we can see how it works for the other side. Okay, so we are back with the frame properly positioned in my stand, and now showing the left hand side pedal and crank. And what I'm going to show here is that this, as I mentioned before, this is inverted thread, which means that normally we could have a trend to try to unscrew this thread this counterclockwise direction, but in fact, in this case, the way of unscrewing it is the clockwise side. It's already broken loose, as I mentioned in my previous video. I already did this before, so just for you guys to see, probably I won't need any sort of support here as I needed before, but let me just do this. See? So this is the way, it's clockwise, but this is the way that we remove the pedal. And as I mentioned before, I don't intend to remove it completely, so I'm just going to screw it back in. Okay, so this is something very important to remember. So left hand side, the way you unscrew it is the opposite as usually we do. The right hand side is normal. Okay, and one very important thing that I'm going to show is sometimes you may have issues to remove these pedals because it stays installed for too long, or the person that installs it doesn't use grease, or because it stays outside and it adds rust. I don't know. There are many reasons that could make very difficult to remove these pedals. And for this, I'm going to show a very important tool that increases our leverage, and it's a good recommendation. Okay, so this is the tool I was talking about. This is a bar, and I can install sockets here in this tip, and I use it to apply high torques or to remove, to break high torques loose using this. Doesn't need to be exactly this. You could use a pipe as long as it properly fits on your wrench. Ideally, it should not be too loose, but in this case in particular, this socket receiver, let's call it this way, it's a ½ inch, and for this particular 15 millimeter wrench that has an open mount on one side and it's closed on the other, I can fit very well my 15 millimeters close here with the socket receiver, which makes this very safe and very good for application of torques. In the sequence, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to show you guys the frame that I was talking about, the old bicycle that still has the pedals installed, and I'm going to be using this to remove those pedals. I think it's going to be very useful because I have to myself that those pedals will be extra tightened on the frame. But with this, quite sure we can do that. Let's go there. Okay guys, so this is the frame I was talking about. It's already disassembled, except that the pedals are still connected to the cranksets. Using that bar and the wrench and the techniques of determination which side each of these pedals unscrew, we're going to remove them. I'm going to position the camera somewhere here to show the whole operation, and because this is going to be a common portion of the video for both my Portuguese and English videos, I will not talk anything there. I'm just gonna show the operation, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.